Alright, so you are joining me for food and hopefully a much shorter video, but you never can tell when you are working on something like this. So, if you thought I was being a little partial to Reaper in last week's video, you'll be pleased to know that we have returned to Audition. Now, let's see what we can do here.
I'll leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands.
I think the first thing we'll do is adjust this auto-tune.
Don't understand, though I may not see the plan you have for me. I'll leave it all, Lord, in your hands. In your hands, in your hands. I leave all my worries in your hands. In your hands, in your hands. I leave all my burdens in your hands. I'll leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands. Even when I just don't understand, though I may not see the plan you have for me, I'll leave it all, Lord, in your hands.
Okay, well, I think that I am annoyed by this auto-tune effect. It's auto-pitch shift, so what do I say we just turn it off like I had it before? So I'll just go and turn it off. I'm not getting rid of it yet because there may be some fix for it that I haven't discovered yet. So ideally we would want it to be more on pitch, especially with that baritone part like we discovered last time, but sometimes you just can't fix it.
Stand, though I may not see the plan you have for me, I'll leave it all, Lord, in your hands.
It does have a nice ending chord, I'll give it that much. So, last time in Reaper, we did a little something with the volume envelopes here. And I just wanted to show those. I may have showed these in Audition before, but they're already there. You can see them, sort of. Let's zoom in. Okay, and zoom in a bit. Okay, so right here's your volume envelope, and here's your pan envelope. So if I did want to pan it independently of this is independent of the tracks panning. You can do that. If I want to adjust the volume, I can also do that by grabbing this one. Okay, and it will tell you how much you've turned it up or down. Another thing you can do with the volume is you can add points and you can sort of draw a curve like this. And that's helpful if you're doing something like you have a section of music and you want to slowly control. This is without doing any kind of automation on the faders or anything like that. So, I'm going to go back to my history panel and go back to add keyframe. I'll just take it back to open. And we'll see that we are, I think, at 0. That's good. Okay, get rid of that keyframe. Okay. So, there we go. Let's see what else we can do here.
In your hands, even when I just don't understand, though Though I may not see the plan you have for plan, I leave it all.
In fact, using that feature, I'm just going to, come on. Using that feature, I'm just going to come in here, and with this bass part, go away. I'm in a little bit too close, maybe. A little too close this way. Okay. And this way as well. That's another zooming thing. You can hover over these different scroll bars. So I'm going to attempt to even this up a little bit by adding those keyframes. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to duck it down a little bit. Well, that's not the way we want to do it. We want it to be a little bit more... I want it to duck here and then come back up. Yeah, that's too much. Okay, but you could do that in theory if you wanted to. So we're not going to do that. So what we can do though is put these effects on. We'll see about finishing it.
I'll leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands. Even when I just understand. Though I may not see the plan you have for plan, I leave it all, Lord, in your hands.
Wet dry mix all the way. You can also change your input volume and your output volume.
Leave it in your hands. Even when I just understand. Though I may not see the plan you have for plan, I leave it all, Lord, in your hands.
Now, where Audition does really shine, it's really set up for audio editing. So you can come in here. Let's say there's a sound that I want to take out. I don't think we have one here. We might at the end here. Okay. Let's hop over to the end. Shift S to select it. Let's say I wanted to take that out. We have here the spot healing brush, and we could go like that. You see there? I've just taken out that sound. Now, of course, you could come over here. Well, let's get rid of this view here. You could come over here. By the way, that was Shift D, or not Show Preview Editor, but you could grab here and drag it up, and that's your spectral display. And if I do want spectral, I want it to be up like that. Okay. So, Shift D. Shows your spectral editor. What you could do, another thing you could do is you could just come here and you could turn the gain down, or you could right click and you could choose silence. They used to call it mute, now they call it silence, and you can take care of any sounds like that. The turning down I sometimes do for breaths. In fact, let's do that here.
I'll leave it in. Ooh.
Turn it down a bit.
Ooh, I'll leave it in your hands.
So not too much, you know. I'm actually doing this visually rather than looking at the numbers. You can look at the numbers on the gain knob, but sometimes I like to look at the visual height of it, which gives you an idea how loud it is. And,
in your hands, even when
you know, listen to it without that.
in your hands,
Okay, let's redo it.
hands, even
Much better. In general, what I try to do now is not breathe so loud. That helps. But if you have not done that, then you can just come in and...
plan you have for me.
Now, some songs this matters more than others, especially if you have everyone breathing at the same time. It can help to come in and do this. And so I'll just turn down. And so on. We could go on and keep doing that. So that's, let's see, that's a good feature there with Audition. And that what I just did there was destructive editing. Over here would be non-destructive, which means any changes I make here do not change the actual audio file. But any changes that I do make in the waveform editor do change the actual file. So so if these are the same ones I'm using in Reaper, it may be affecting those as well, which is fine. No, it's fine to turn the breathing down.
In your hand.
Now you see, it's the thing about breathing is because of the high frequencies, you turn it down, it's not going to be, nobody's going to notice, you turn the breathing down. You know, it's not going to be one of those things.
I'll leave.
So... I'm going to adjust that a little bit there.
And leave it in your don't
Two breaths there. That was really really necessary, I guess.
and though I may
Does seem a little bit harsh, doesn't it? Now what I would do, I think I was a little bit too close. Now, a good thing, like I was saying last time, is to get it recorded right from the beginning. So probably what I would do if I had to redo it is not be so close to the microphone. Stand back, turn the microphone up a little bit. I'm not sure what volume I had it at. But with this particular microphone, you stand back a bit and you don't get that proximity effect thing. So okay, well, I think we've done about all we can do here in Audition. So for the last couple minutes or so, I'm going to hop back over to Reaper.
I'll leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands.
And we'll see about the finishing touches. No. And the main reason I'm finishing it here and not there as well, for when I've already finished it in Audition, and the pitch correction did not work as well. So so now let's try those two effects. We have a reverb and a delay, and we're trying to get the closest approximation to what I did with this the echo here, echo effect, and the delay. I'm using the same delay. So the delay in Reaper, I'm trying to mimic what I did with the echo in here. By the way, Audition has some of the best stock effects that I've used so far as echoes and reverbs. So we'll see what we can do here.
I'll leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands.
Okay, clearly that's too much of a delay. Let's just try it with reverb.
I'll leave it in your hands.
This is a very small reverb.
Leave it in your hands. Even when I just don't
Let's start with some presets.
understand. Though I may not see the plan you have for plan, I leave it all, Lord, in your hands. In your hands, in your hands, I leave all my worries in your hands. In your hands, in your hands, I leave all my burdens in your hands. I leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands. Even when I just don't understand. Though I may not see the plan you have for me, I leave it all, Lord, in your hands.
Okay, that's like a, a duplicate. Just not what. There we go, Gymnasius.
I'll leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands. Even when I just don't understand.
You know what I think this needs? I think it needs Replica XT. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Let's just grab one that I know works really quick. Yeah, I think it was this one.
I'll leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands. Even when I just don't understand. Though I may not see the plan you have for plan, I leave it all, Lord, in your hands. I'll leave it in it all, Lord, in your hands.
Okay. It's a very very slight effect. Let's see, King's Choice. What's that like?
Leave it in your hands. Even when I just don't understand.
Whoa. Okay.
Leave it in your hands. Even when I just don't understand. Though I may not see the plan you have for plan, I leave it all, Lord, in your hands. In your hands, in your I'll leave it in your hands. Leave it in your hands. Even when I just don't understand. Though I may not see the plan you have for me, I'll leave it all, Lord, in your hands.
Now, seems like that one instance of Replica XT is what does the same thing I was doing with both Replica and Echo. So it's pretty much done unless I decide to do anything else to it. So far it's sounding good. I think I will come back or let it sit for a while and listen to it and see if that still works for me. And so far, pitch is accurate, everything, so we're more accurate. And again, not like Melodyne or Logic where you can adjust the vibrato and all that fun stuff, but it works and it doesn't sound fake or auto-tuned, which is what I want. So, yeah. Alright, I guess that's it for this DAW shootout until I decide to do another one. I think they're both good. It's just in the area of pitch correction, Reaper takes the edge on this one. It all depends on. There's probably a way to get this a little bit more accurate, but once again, the very best way to avoid issues like this is to get it as accurate as you can at the beginning, and it's a little bit hard when it comes to pitch, but that just means recording it more times, and I did kind of rush this one, so. Good news is you can catch it if you did rush it, but better to start with it. I'm repeating myself now, aren't I? You get the idea. Okay, well, that's been it for Audition versus Reaper, and we will be making something else in the near future. Alright, thanks for watching.